5.5 miles a day? How about every day for a week? That's about 39 miles. How about every day for a month? That's around 169 miles. And if you do that for 12 months in a row, that is 2,021 miles. That's the Run the Year Challenge. It is a very popular challenge in some running circles, and I'm going to break down the pros and cons. First, the basis of the challenge is just like it sounds. It is running the number of miles in that year. I'm not a mathematician, but by the very nature of numbers, that means you are increasing the number of miles you run year after year, kind of making that goal a little bit further. And it is a very epic goal. It is very challenging. You don't have to break down the miles in 5.5 every day for a year. You can take rest days. You can slice it and dice it however you want. It is a ton of mileage. It's a huge accomplishment. And it's not necessarily right for everyone. So let's talk about the pros and cons of taking the Run the Year Challenge. The number one pro is it's a SMART goal, which is what you want when you are setting goals in general, for it to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Those might not all apply to everyone in terms of it being realistic or achievable, but the other ones, in that it is specific, measurable, and time sensitive, definitely apply here, so that you know if you are on track, you know exactly what it takes to be on track, and you have a deadline you need to hit it by. Second pro is that it truly becomes a part of your life. It becomes a habit. It is something you need to keep in mind as you are planning your schedule week after week, because there are so many miles required of you. You need to make sure that you are very consistent, that you are allowing time for it. Anytime you are planning your schedule for the month or the week ahead, you need to make sure that you have this time set aside to get in all these miles. So running truly becomes a long-term part of your life. Number three is there are a lot of groups to help keep you accountable online. There are probably in-person groups as well, but if you find a group that you can really connect with, that can help keep you accountable and motivated. Number four is it's very black or white. You are either on track or you're not. It's numbers, it's miles, and you can't really BS yourself. You can't really BS the numbers. You are either getting them done or they are piling up. And there are big consequences if you let them pile up, because if you skip a couple runs, you have to do that much more later. It's not a certain number of miles a day. It is at the end of the year, you want to hit 2021. So if you skip some days, you're not calling in sick on this goal. You need to find another place to get those miles in. Number five, actually high five, huge, high 10. It's a huge accomplishment. This is epic to be able to say at the end of the year, you ran over 2,000 miles this year alone. Amazing. It's something to be proud of. If you keep your eyes on the prize and end the year running 2021 miles, that is awesome. And I think it is part of what can keep you focused on the goal, is knowing that this is such a big accomplishment and it's going to take a lot of hard work, and you keep kind of chipping away at it month after month. The accomplishment and the pride in knowing that you are doing this is a huge pro. Now we have to talk about the cons. The first one is it actually might not be a SMART goal for everyone. Like I said, it might not be realistic or achievable given your personal health, injury history, schedule, travel, weather, etc. There are a lot of things that can interfere with this goal. If you live somewhere where you cannot realistically run 3 months out of the year, you don't have access to a treadmill, this might not work. If you have a history of overuse injuries with running, might not be the best idea. If you have to travel for work, if you have a lot going on at home and other responsibilities that don't allow you to get in 169 miles per month, think about how much time realistically each mile is going to take you. Do you have all that time to devote to this? Otherwise, it might not be the best thing for you. The second con is it won't help you get faster. If your goal is to PR the half marathon or marathon this year, you should really focus on a training plan that helps you get there. A training plan with speed work, with strength and conditioning, that is focused on also recovery, and just piling on a ton of miles over the course of months leading up to your race or over the course of the year isn't necessarily giving you the time to really show up for your speed work and have the time to recover. So if you want to get faster, look for another goal. Number 3 is it takes a lot of planning and just might not work out logistically. So if you don't have a flexible schedule, if it's very unpredictable, if your life might change over the course of this year, this might not be a great long-term goal for you. You want to think about where you are going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months down the road. Are you going to still have the time required to really get this done? The 4th con is it's very black and white. And I use this also for the pro in that it's very crystal clear what the goal is, what it takes to accomplish it. But if you fall off, if you realize towards the end of a given week, a given month, that you're not going to be able to make up those miles, you could just peace out and completely quit when it is a very black and white goal. If at some point you realize, I'm not going to hit 2021 this year, are you just going to quit? Is there a backup plan? You want to make sure that you think about those things before you sign up for a challenge like this. And the 5th con is you could get physically injured, mentally burnt out, or both potentially. It's a lot of miles. It's a lot to ask of your body, both physically and mentally. If you are not super into this challenge, if it is not potentially your idea and your passion, then something that you go into it liking, if you just are kind of like meh about running, like you'll call running up when you don't have other plans on a Friday, then maybe you shouldn't completely marry running this year and have to do it as much as is required to run over 2,000 miles. So make sure that it is something that is very important to you, that you don't have a history of injury or getting burnt out and just quitting. And if it sounds very exciting, like this is going to be the most awesome thing of your life, then go for it. But ultimately, your goals should always be about you. So set some awesome goals, chase them down this year, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I will put links below for Run Eat Repeat. You can check out training plans, more info, random fun stuff. Follow me on Instagram at Run Eat Repeat, and have a great run.